policy processes. Now, for most of the time, our communities, they have fallen victims, but we don't want to make them feel victimized, that they are so much vulnerable. Yeah, how about we make these people responsible of their resources? We make them take part in the production processes. They will, I'm very sure, something you take part in, you participate in. In our community. And then we give these youth also capacity. We train them when it comes to leadership and also taking part, being responsible, so that they can also take care of the future. Because youth is a very powerful group. Everybody, every group of people, the vulnerable, youth, women, people with disability, or the elderly. Or we have in the region a climate change, not just the region, this is a global thing, we know. Very erratic rainfall pattern, decline. But then we need resilience. We need to address it. How are we going to address it? We must be adaptive. Resilience is about adaptation, about diversification, those things that are going to make us cope with the climate change, because it is not going, we are not going to change it, because we are not going to push it out. Many youth have talents, but they are losing hope. Why? Maybe the resources are not readily available. Or youth, the ventures that they get themselves into, the youth know the character of youth. A youth can pay for services for someone to work for them, but at the end of the day, the youth will be contributing economically growth of our nation. That involve this group of people who are very decent and they are very radical. And if we push this energy in these workforces or in this energy the right direction, the issues technology or the issues to do with the cages and other areas that we not explore. What my feeling is the lake is too big. It is too big. And if the fish stock is not enough, there is something that we can do. We can take part, we can be key players in the production within that blue economy, the aquaculture. Very much key. We are having an innovation that will be introduced here, because I don't want to talk about it. It is something big, greater than me. It can fall, it make me fall down. It is coming behind me. And ensure that market system, when it comes to aquaculture, the marketing, the distribution, the supply chain, the entire supply chain is intact. Whether they have the resource, whether they have the knowledge, but then we cannot just move with those people who are lying alone. If we must grow as a country, we must grow together. We must involve everybody and improvement in the growth of our nation. Well, to our integrated response strategy, smart agriculture is where the innovation, the smart log, and also with those in fingerling production. Because fingerling is a climate smart. If they can innovate and now come up with animal breeding, or is it animal breeding? Because we also want to venture in apiculture, the beekeeping. We have so many rivers in Western region. And you know, the stress for bee is normally water. How about we even do the avocado? Other than learning from avocado, the hearts, you can have the apiaries there. Then you can now do double. In bee here we have one. Other byproducts that can come from bee. And youth will not go every day to check whether bee has eaten or not. That is something very, very interesting for youth. How about that as youth from the Western region? You after 3 months. You are going to have an additional income, something that you not struggle for. The bee is there, maybe you can check once in a while, but you can even have a notification. Will the youth be happy? That is why we are saying it is time that we are going to take part in the growth of our nation. We talk about sustainable enterprise. Sustainable enterprise models. Yes, just like I always use this example, there is this orange sweet potato in Migori. Very sustainable. And Magiu, that sweet potato can supplement. How about we empower farmers? We train them so that they can take part in production. We have a factory in Getonganya, in Migori. Yet the Western region is very rich. can do well. We can also give our farmers the root crops, and then these farmers can earn income in a small piece of land like an acre, a quarter of an acre. They will be called the next presenter, or to give back the mic to the MC.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we appreciate Mr. Larry? I think you can now see where ARHICA is heading, right? Yeah, so I'm going to call the next speaker, that is Casey Gochieng.
Yes. Good morning once again. Yes, so I told you that I'm an environmental scientist and a teacher. And teachers, they always need response. That is the main thing, that if you are in a class, you look forward. So I'll go again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, nasikia kama mnakuja, you are coming. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you. Don't be gloomy in the morning, because it's a great morning. Remember, there's someone who is just wishing to sit down and maybe listen. He's just lying for his friend. So let's be cheerful and grateful for this great occasion. And yesterday, when I was coming, I came from Nakuru. So nilitoka asubuhi sana ndio nifike mapema. But I think you know how our public transport system is. This person took my money na akaniweka hapo for a very long time. And I was like, can you give me back my money? And he said he can't do that. He said that I leave it and come the next day, kama niko na haraka, or I wait until that time reaches. But I had to wait because I don't want to lose my money, and I'm not as rich as the extent that I can live with my money that easy. Yeah? So when being ongezeka, things are going to be a bit tougher. So let's tukaze mkanda. Yeah, so as I was doing that, make you cheerful and back presentation. I'm now going to start my presentation, which is actually on environmental conservation as one of the major agendas or themes that we do under ARHICA. So you know that environment is the mark. Do you know that you are part of the environment? Yeah? Because man tends to leave environment out of his equation when he's defining the environment. But we are part and parcel of the environment. That's why we have three components: biotic, and whatever we do in development, economics, and so on. So when we talk about environment, we mean everything and everyone. Yeah. So it's been a big challenge because we've been talking of climate change as an issue here and there. It's a big thing in the global arena, and there's a lot of funds to cap that. But how do we do this at the grassroots? What do we call it? As one of our agendas to try and cap this, because we found that around the Nyanza and Western region was highly degraded from the level that it was in much earlier. Yeah. So if you walk around, you will see that nowadays we have very clear fields. The population is increasing. People are tending. Because I've also been into some conservation around this area, where the lake and other regions, and we can see there's a big problem. Sometimes it becomes too polluted that you can feel kumbaya coming from the lake, because if you stay around, there's one time that happens, are introducing their waste into the system. So ARHICA has come up with this as one of its main agendas to tackle. how do we want to tackle this? We want to bring everybody on board, train them, create awareness, and educate them on the importance of restoring. So people in the environmental sector will tell you that without our environment being healthy, then we can't be healthy. When the air is polluted around, you find that it also affects us, and in the environment, we have a problem. So we want to come and do some activities to help curb that. One of the activities that is making one of the toughest thing in environmental conservation, it's not about planting the tree. You can plant the tree. Many people have planted tree. That is the main challenge. And we'll be doing that, collaborating with other people to do tree plantation. So this is an activity that we'll be doing not long after this. And we also welcome you to come on board and educating people through riding on bicycles around and such initiatives. So be ready for that. How do we want to bring people on board? We have to be inclusive. Yeah. How do we want to get everyone on board? Yeah. So this is also one of our main agendas or themes. Youth is the biggest number of people in terms of age that we have in Kenya and Africa as a whole. So there's a lot of to bring on board. Because these people are vibrant, the youths are very vibrant, knowledgeable, skilled. You saw this during Gen Z demonstrations, where we call them clinicians and people in medicine. We're also using that skill to assist here and there. That shows you that there's a lot of skills that has not been tapped. So, gender is also a very important thing in our society. We want to bring on board people who are able to differ. Yeah, every person is to be brought on board so that the organizations be strong, and in whatever we want to do, that is on agriculture, environmental, it will be for the better of Kenya and Africa and the continent as a whole. So we commit that we will include gender, youths, for living with disability, organizations, the government, and everybody for the success of that. And now on another aspect that is also important is the youth empowerment, because most of us are youths. Yeah, the people who have formed actually this organization are we came together and so we have these skills, we have this knowledge. Yeah, we've got a lot of knowledge and skills and wisdom. We have wisdom. No, we are not as old as our parents and grandparents, but we have a lot of wisdom. What can we do with all this? Yeah. Then we say that because you don't have the financial muscles, and that's in knocking, because from this we want now to upscale and start doing activities. When we call you again to come, you hit the call. Yes. So these youths will train also them on leadership, on skill development. There are some youths in the group, in the villages, who did not. We want also youth to be leaders of today. I always say leaders of today, not tomorrow. No, I cannot be a leader tomorrow. I have to be a leader today, because when tomorrow comes, I will be a whole person. So I want to have the potential that I have, the moment, the strength and energy that I have now. So we will do mentorship programs, leadership development, people who are empowered and employed and have a voice to speak where they're needed to speak. Yes. Yes, and that is an example of what we want to do in terms of doing a practical education, practical. And we want to make a resilient community that everybody knows what is going on. If you don't educate our society, how will they know that climate change, there's environmental degradation, there is a lack of employment, but we can do something out of it. There are innovations, there are technology, there is funds and grants that you can write if you don't empower them and tell them where to get this information and these resources. So we are planning to do engagement and youth forums. And on school engagements, there are things coming up. Yeah, there are things that are on the way, and we have good things for our school children on environment and also training them to be future leaders. We also want to do climate adaptation and mitigation in terms of innovation. You can also get stuck around. Yeah, the fuel is at 242 shillings. That's a lot of money. Yeah, we just way higher than what we came with. And now we want people to explore renewable energy, solar. Yeah, we have geothermal, we have hydropower. Can we come up with our own vehicles, electric vehicles, and renewable source of energy? How do we bring gas or biogas and things like that for our society to reduce the impact of using. So, yeah, so I think my presentation is has ended on the previous slide because we are two presenters. That it takes all of us to achieve great things. That is one thing that I was taught. That if you are not together, then you are in the direction of failure. For example, if you have a stick, one stick, you can break it easily. Break. Trust me, you won't break it. So that is the importance of coming together and being part of an initiative like ARHICA. Thank you very much, and I will give it back to the MC.
Yes, can we appreciate him once more? Yeah, ARHICA is full of great minds. So the next speaker, we're going to call Mr. Sylvesters to actually to know what this samaki log is, and maybe can do a demonstration of others. Welcome, Mr. Sylvester.
Good morning once again. Good morning. I go by the name Sylvester. Good morning. Serving as the coordinator of ARHICA. And as at now, I would like us to delve into the samaki law, which is the digital fisheries innovation platform. So basically, Samaki Log is a smart digital fisheries platform designed to transform the fishing industry by helping fishermen record their daily catch digitally, access fair and transparent market price, and connect directly with buyers without exploitation from middlemen. As of today, we know very well many fishermen face serious challenges such as manual record keeping. For instance, in an area where I'm coming from, which is Rarieda, we have a small beach there called Okay Beach. You'll find that those small-scale fishermen, whenever they are done with fishing activity, they some records of their catches, and this record, there's high chances it can get lost. And once it gets lost, you cannot easily track that data for future use or for making decisions. Therefore, it means that, of course, there are some measures maybe provided by the carefree, but what I can say that it has not fully penetrated up to the local areas, like where I'm coming from. Income and unfair pricing. Of course, right now when when a fisherman or maybe a fish seller, whenever she or he wants to sell fish, maybe to somewhere like Nairobi, by transporting it, she will incur a lot of maybe get some little profit from it. But suppose when you have a system like this one, he or she can easily get reach the customer, and in case he or she is very far or is close to the fishing area. Second area, the third area, planning in general. Another area which is also of common is how they share the information. How does the fisherman receive any news? How does that kind of a person receive the information? If it is an urgent news, how can that person receive the information regarding fishing? It can be in terms of the fishing price, it can be in terms of the fishing gears that have been introduced, or it can be in terms of maybe the fish species and stuff. So when you have an alerts that have been posted online, and this can easily even help adapt very fast to the news that have been posted online. Also, they can also share the news to a fish seller or to a fish buyer. Of course, right now, if I am a buyer, I want to buy fish, I just go there, check prices of fish in Kisumu. Maybe aliwahi post hapo, akasema maybe the price of 1 kg of this particular fish goes at this price. So this person cannot be easily exploited. It will be very difficult to exploring area where fishing is taking place. I don't know the price there, and when I go to purchase that fish, like nagomba. Yeah. So basically, another in this tool of ours is the part of the advanced analytics. It has cloud processing that generates concise, actionable. Of course, we have several platforms or the dashboards in this our system. One is meant for the beach management units, because I do believe that at every fishing point there is a body that governs or that monitors that area. Therefore, these people, they need a dashboard where they can monitor and even identify in case if there can be any kind of malpractice taking place in that particular area. So this app has been built for real-time performance and global scalability. Of course, it was built using Flutter, which ensures a seamless high performance. It enables us to make a system that can easily be compatible with any kind of phone. When you come to the cloud infrastructure, all our data, all our users' data, they are kept in Firebase. It is actually a real-time database synchronization and reliable hosting with advanced security. Thirdly, modular and and scalable. A flexible architecture designed for rapid feature expansion and seamless adaptation to regional requirements. Then the last part was the enterprise security, robust user management, and data protection protocols to ensure the integrity of fisheries information. So, for instance, this is what we were talking about. The data-driven insights for a sustainable blue economy. When a fisherman has entered his or her catch logs, he will come to a feature that is called statistics that will represent the data in form of a graph. So when the graph is going upwards, it means the fishing. But when it keeps on coming downwards, it means that the level of fish in that particular area has reduced. Therefore, he as a fisherman, he needs to adjust his fishing in that particular area, either by stopping fishing in that area or by moving. Another part is the species distribution. Of course, this one is specifically on the dashboard of the beach management. And strategic planning, it provides evidence-based insights for policymakers, researchers, and regional planners. Collected here, like the species distribution per beach, per country, or even per county, can be used by the policymakers, researchers, and regional planners to come up with informed decision making. So Samakilo transformed raw field data into moving from guesswork to precision fisheries management. Alright, these are some of our expectations or projections. I will expect to expand from local success to continental impact, whereby phase 1, we are focused on scaling across all Kenyan coastal and lakeside counties, and also deep integrate this system, coastal and lakeside counties, and also deep integrate this system. And in phase 2, which is the regional growth, we are focused on the East and Central Africa. To neighboring fisheries markets, for instance, we have like the Kenya, Uganda, we have Kenya, Tanzania. So we'll try our best to see how this system can even happening at the Kenya-Uganda border, whereby you find that the Kenya fishermen, after their area has been depleted of fish. I mean, some of our expectation of the projection is that one of the ecosystem continuity, whereby we will be required to also this system in terms of data, in terms of usage, and even help them too in terms of making decisions. How does this system strengthen the blue economy through climate smart action? The first one is environmental stewardship. It reduces illegal and overfishing by So the moment you open that website, you see that you first of all come across the 3 portals, whereby one is for the fisherman, the third one is for the fishmonger or the fish seller. So from there unajua mahali uko. In case you are a fisherman, you can create an account there. In case you are a fish buyer, you can create an account there. And remember that whenever you are creating an account, your password must be at least 6 characters to enhance the security. Have you been able to access it? So when you open it, it will bring for you the first 3 portals. One for the fisher, second one for the buyer, and third one for the fish seller. So as for my case, already I have some default logins. So right now I'm on the portal of Fisher, and I hope you are able to see some of the features it has. On the bottom navigation bar, we have the customers, statistics, add catch, my touches, and home. Then we also have got the side navigation bar, whereby you see we have sell fish, my bucket, settings, admin portal, and logouts. So it means that the fisherman also has a privilege to sell the fish in this scenario. Yeah, sometimes you can get that I'm a fisherman, nimetoka kuvua samaki, and I want to sell some of my fish without going to the fishmonger. So you can also sell your fish direct. Then we have the part of the news and stories. Here are some of the stories that have been shared by the users who interacted with this system in the first phase. In this section or in this feature, a fisherman or a buyer or a fish seller or any user is able to post, to share, and even like and comment on any post. And another part of it, or another part that is of much interest, is that of course you can be having a lot of information here or a lot of stories. Therefore you are required to search stories based on the username or based on the topic. or even based on the location. For instance, you can search, I guess we have one for Nairobi. So this one can help you to quickly access the information you want. For instance, let's assume that Kefri was already inside here. You can just come and type the username Kefri and see their latest posts that they have shared on this platform. This helps the fisherman to easily access the information. On the add catch feature, we have very simple fields. One is the fish species, weight, fishing location or the beach name. We have the country and we have the county. For the date and for the time, it's automatic. I mean, it is default. But in case the fisherman would want to maybe post or add catch for the fish catch that was done previous days, he can change the dates and time. And even add some notes in case, for instance, you wanted to add note like today there was, or it was a bit thunderstorm, or today the fish level was very low. You can also add some notes there and submit your catches. The moment you submit your catches, your statistics graph will show. So this one we use the simple line graph because this one is easily appealing or is easy to interpret by a fisherman. It doesn't matter kama alikuwa amesoma ama kwa amesoma sana, but this one you can easily interpret. And suppose he or she want to confirm the dates or the weight in particular points, you can just move his fingers on those dots. The moment you move your fingers on those dots, you'll see the date and the weight. Then moving forward, we have the part of customers. So for instance, who has been able to access the bottle for the buyer? Bottle for the buyer, anyone? Alright, can you try and create an order? Let's assume that you went to the market, you tried to look for the fish he desired for or he wanted, but akaikosa. So he has an option of creating an order, location by including the location, the fish, the type of fish, and marine level. Kindly try to create so that I want to show you something here that will happen on the part of the fisherman. So in this session, in this picture, the moment the buyer has created an order, it will automatically reflect on this side of the fisherman and also on the side of the fish seller. So that in case the fish seller doesn't have that particular order from his or her side, he can ignore that order. But still, the fisherman will get that order. Yeah. So it creates a pool of what the buyer wants. Hello, excuse me, being able to get another right. Anyway. So suppose you are able to get an order, you are able to see my cursor here. Yeah, you will see a button, a confirmation button here that is in green color. So when you click it, it will prompt you that if you are sure you are able to handle that order or you are not in a position to handle that order. Once you are not in a position to handle that order, you can just ignore it. It will remain blue. But when the order you are in a position to handle it, you can just click confirm and deliver the order to the buyer. Also here the fisherman can do filtering based on the fish species, or based on the locations, or based on the fish state. For instance, if you want customers within Kisumu, he can just search Kisumu, and also turn this part of that icon that is on this other side, and you have to tell it that you want to do search based on location. So the search Kisumu, hakuna, it means there is no order, or there is no order that is available from Kisumu. We have this part of selfish. It looks just basic like that, whereby the fisherman can just upload the image of the fish, species, the name of the fish, the state of the fish, is it fresh, processed, the weight, the price, how does that buyer charges per kg of that particular fish, the location, and then list the fish for sale. So then we have the part of the settings. So this part allows the fisherman to download the reports. You know, of course, we have some fishermen who would like to keep records of the fishing, how the fishing activity has been taking place, either from last year till this year. You will come to this part called catch records. So when you click that part, your work is just to come on the date range. You select your date range. For instance, if it is from 5th August 2024 to 15th of May 2026, you get that is the catches that was made in that particular period, and you can go ahead and export your data, and it will be downloaded successfully. So you will be having your data in software form. Then allow me to move very fast to the part of the admin, because we should also get to interact of how does the beach management unit portal behaves, how does it look like. They would also like to know how they can monitor the users in that particular area, how they can know that this particular fish species imepungua in that particular area, and what actions can they take. So for the beach management unit, for you to have the credentials for this particular portal, you will be required to submit some of the information like the location, the fishing license, so that we can approve that in this area fishing is taking place in that particular area. We will check from our side and just see, okay, here we can see there are users, so we can allow you and send to you your logins that you will use in this particular admin portal. So here you can just perform your analysis, maybe based on country, location, county, and species, and even choose your date range that you would like to do comparison with. So for instance here, we have a date range of April 15th, 2026 to May 15th, 2026. Total weight. So we have catches by county. You will see which county did well and which county did poor in that particular date range. And also you can just hover over those bars to see the weights in those particular bars. You can just move by and see how was the weight. You can even check per country, which country did well, which country did poor. And the same to even the species, you'll see which one was hot per wing, yani ilishikwa sana. And down there you can see the users in that particular area. The people who are doing fishing in that particular area. You will see their boat number. Of course, they are not identified by their names. But here we are doing identification by your boat number. Your boat number is your serial number. Is your primary key that is being used in this scenario to identify you, plus the location. Yes. So on the fish seller, actually it doesn't have much on the fish seller. It just has the feature of the news, the feature of sell fish, and the feature of customers, plus the bucket. On the bucket is when he has accepted the order. The order will go to the bucket, and we just do the normal contact with the client. For the buyer, let me just okay, this one, because this one is now where most of us are. Yeah. For the buyer, you also have a privilege for the news and stories. You can always view the news and stories. You can always check through the markets, what's there. For this scenario, the fish sellers or the fish or the fisherman didn't upload the photos, but you can just see the names, the tilapia, you can see the prices and the state of the fish. So in case you are interested in one, you can just click buy now and read some of the details of that particular fish. You will see the location and Masaria. Then you place your order that is within the quantity that is there. You can't place an order that is above the quantity that was placed in or that was listed in the market. So let's assume that I just want 1 kg that particular fish. So once it has been confirmed that it has been placed successfully, you just come to your orders and you will see it. That is the order. Tilapia, seller information, name, folio, and contact 0, blah, blah, blah. So the reason why we try to adopt a traditional way is because we are trying to balance the literate and the illiterate in this scenario. Suppose you are just going with the illiterate, but we would have automated everything, and then you're supposed to use that way, it will actually cut off most of the fishermen. So first of all, we want to test and see how will it work when we go the traditional way, whereby you will contact the fisherman and tell him or her that yes, I've placed an order of 1 kg of tilapia. I'm in Nyamasaria, kindly, am I in a position to get it? Then he will tell you if you are in a position to get it. Then once it has been delivered, you just confirm delivered. You are done with that first. Then we have the section of create order. Suppose you have searched on the marketplace. Now ukakosa the fish that you are looking for. You can come here and create your order. And once you have placed it, it will reflect on the side of the fisherman and the side of the fish seller. And you are actually likely to get your fish. So basically as at now, those are some of the features that we have for this, our system, but still we have more that we want to improve into it once we are in a position to do it, because you get that some requires funds, maybe to get like the API supports, so they need a lot of funds to improve some of the advanced features. But we believe that with time, we are going to improve it
to our very best. For now, this one is fully functioning from that website. You can use it. The fishermen can start using it. The beach management units can start using it. And even for the fish buyers and fish sellers, you can still use it as at now. Otherwise, thank you so much. And I hope you are going to enjoy the system. Thank you very much. So tumpigie makofi. Yes. Yeah. So he has really done a great job. And you know, in this world, there are things that can make you sweat. There are things that can make you sweat more. So, for example, things that can make you sweat more is a presentation when you are doing it for the first time. I remember when I was presenting for my studies, I was so off that I was told, toa jacket, toa koti, because I went with a suit and unaenda kung'ara. And I had to cool down because it was so hard. The second thing will be for the first time, if you are going to seduce a lady, it's the hardest thing for men, the first time, you know. And also maybe teaching is also one of the things that can make you sweat more. Na kukunywa chai moto Kisumu atesa. Tuliteseka leo when we went in our suits to do that. So yeah, those are some of the toughest thing. And I think also when you are arrested, it is something that makes you sweat out. I've been arrested twice, and it was not a nice experience. So thanks to our presenters, and they have done a great job. And time is moving, and we now want to move to the next phase. I don't know if the chairman is around because to give us some presentation and also to welcome people to deliberate on what we've said. Yeah. What questions do you have? What information do you have for us? Yeah. So it's going to be your time to contribute to the novel ideas that we've shared and also be part of it. So, Mr. Chair, thank you, sir.
Okay. I know it has been a lot of technology, technical. It has been technical context. So, in simple terms, samaki law, simplify. Samaki law will integrate the value chain. Kutoka hapo kwa production, umeona mvuvi akitoa samaki anaweza pata platform ya kuuza, anapost pale, then in that interface receiver, the buyers or the fishmongers will be able to see kuna samaki kunditi kama hii Usenge beach ama Waria beach, hiyo beach yote, so anaweza make order, then they will be delivered. Unaona, then huyu fishmonger or the seller, the fish seller will now in the same platform pia anaweza fanya nini? Anaweza uza hiyo samaki kwa consumer. This one can also include the the real farms like Rio Fish, Olena au wenye wako kwa culture market. Unaona, so that in Parkland counties kama Kitui, Makueni wanaweza kuwa na aggregation center ama depot ya samaki. Watu wa huko wana make order, ama kwa Gen Z wenye wako Nairobi unasema hii kuwe kama ni Jumia app ya samaki. Mimi nataka samaki iletwe kwa mlango yangu, watu wako kula sasa. Una make order, unaletewa samaki. Unaona, those delivery. So in the process tutakuwa na hiyo enterprise growth and development. Will spur the enterprise growth development, and you know the government is very, and also Kisumu County, they are very sensitive about enterprises growth and development. And then youths will be involved. Those people will be involved, will be taking part in distribution, delivery, job creation. However much as little it is, or those, the 2, 3, those will be in the records. When you azikuwa kitui, but imekuwa, that's an advancement. Then, we'll be creating such like opportunity. Na serikali when nimesema pale through the BMUs, because I know the government will not be there every day, but there are those people in the ground that can represent the government. Watakuwa wanasaidia, how is the fishing going? Are they using the rightful gears? Some things like that. So the BMUs will be able to do the monitoring. And that will enact, itasaidia serikali. So mkitaka data, mnaenda pale kwa BMU, at least we empower them, we upgrade them. Watu unataka kufanya data research in aquaculture, si lazima sasa unadini, unataka kufanya namna hii, organize, we have data. Si ndio? Then, which part is left out? That's in overview, what samaki law is. So, I went to support a very big structural, labda wengine unashangaa hii fire base ni nini? Hii maneno ni gani? Ndio maana leo nilisema kuna maneno inakuja nyuma yangu, mimi hata siwezi wetana nayo. But sasa that samaki law is what we are really advocating, so that we go the value chain holistically, right from production to the point of consumption. And also because we have partners here, we also have those the one what's the sign wise dealing with waste management. So after consumption, kuna waste management, kuna watu wataingia pale. Na nyinyi pia kama watu wa combines hapa kwa transportation, distribution, fish handling, because this fish is very volatile, fish is very sensitive. We need to handle it with care. That's why this meeting was very essential for all these partners, so that we see areas of integration, areas of collaboration, and how are we going to enhance, how are we going to spur our community, how are we going to better the lives of our farmers, the smallholder farmers. Yes, because we need to go international. Tukimaliza hii market yetu ya Kenya, tuanze kufikiria tuna capitalize Tanzania, tuna capitalize Uganda, wao wanafanya aje? And how can we do exports? But bado mtu wa Kitui analala 1 year, 2 years hata kabisa samaki inakaa namna gani? Which means there's something we are missing. There's something we are missing. We are not doing it right. Even in our own country, we cannot consume it. Then we say we are fish producing country. How? Fish iko, samaki iko, soko iko. So sisi tufanye 1-2 to go in the market. Thank you very much. That is samaki law. Now, I'm also calling a very energizer person, also to sensitize on an area, Mr. Casey, the VC of operation.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mine is just to put more emphasis on what we've now discussed in short, in 1 minute. Yeah? In 1 minute, what have been discussed. So, our strategic objectives are: 1, to advance climate justice and accountable governance. That's one of the main objectives that we have. Secondly, is to build resilience, resilient livelihood and food system through our initiatives like agriculture and the potato initiative. Also to promote youth and women leadership through our training and engagement. There's also enhancement of environmental sustainability that I talked about. More of planting trees, educating the society and community in all that we want to do to conserve and protect our environment. And there is also support inclusive economic development that comes from our initiatives. We foster enterprise growth and climate finance also through the same initiatives. We want also to promote an evidence-based program. For example, the last presentation on Samaki Law, I will have the data. Data is really important because it helps the government to plan, and also as a society also to plan on what we want, where we want to be, and at what point are we. So that is extremely important. We also want to lastly strengthen community-led transformation. So what we do, we want it to be a community-based and led initiative. We don't want to bring it from the top, what they were calling during the last campaigns as bottom-up. Tunaanzia chini. So whatever we do, we want it to be community-based, accepted, tested, and approved. That's one of the main objectives that we have. So in short, That is what ARHICA wants to do or has been doing to some extent, and we want to upscale it from now onward. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time that we go directly to the deliberations, and here we welcome and open the floor to everyone to contribute, to ask questions, to share the knowledge that they have, the skills and wisdom that will really help our organization, ARHICA, move forward. So without much further ado, I will welcome all of us now to contribute. So what we are going to do is you raise your hand and we bring you the mic. If it's a question, you ask it. If it is a comment, you share it. And maybe I will request that maybe two of us to come here with their chairs. If there's a question that needs to be answered, then we can do it as a team. So, the floor is open. So, any question, any comment? Okay, I see there's a lot of questions. I'll start here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon once more. First of all, let me take this opportunity to really congratulate and appreciate ARHICA team for organizing such a wonderful and useful meeting. Hongera sana. Number two, about samaki law. You know, most of our fishermen, sometimes I'm not being mean to them, education-wise. Many of them may not have attained good educational qualifications. So is it possible also to have samaki law in different languages so that fishermen who are not able to use it in English can also find an alternative platform to also use it?
Thank you very much, Dr. Bernard. So we are taking the questions, the comments, and we'll answer the question when we collect them. So,
good afternoon. Harriet. Okay. And my question is on the Samaki Law app. One is, how are you going to ensure, how are you going to check on the quality of fish that maybe the buyer, the producer or the fish trader is, how are you going to ensure that the one who buys will buy, because fish is very perishable, yeah, and you know that it goes bad very fast. So how are you going to ensure that the quality of fish is checked, such that when maybe the clients buy fish that is of good quality? Then on the issue of, you know, most of the time when you're dealing with an app, there's always the issue of fraud. Maybe the person who is selling, how are you going to ensure that if maybe I'm conned, how are you going to track down these? Are you these sellers, are they registering, like for example, their IDs, their licenses that they've licensed themselves within the beaches? Like when they're registering in the app, they also key in such details such that when fraud cases arise, they can easily be tracked. Yes.
thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Peter. My question is from the buyer to the consumer. How long will the fish take for I to receive it? Maybe I'm from Mabedi and in any other part of Kenya. And will I pay the delivery cost or what will I do? Thank you.
One last question. are you just offering the platform or any other services that occur, like for example transportation? For example, when someone orders fish in Nairobi and they've ordered from Kisumu, anything that takes place after ordering, do you follow up or do you just offer the platform?
That's well noted. Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I would like to comment on Samaki Law, and I have to say that it's a good innovation, and I think it's headed quite a long way. Yeah, the AI system is going to really transform the world, and as a developer, I would also admire to inquire if we can also task you with some tasks on the same, or you are restricted within ARHICA. Yeah, like if I have some tasks like developing some application, can you also assist us in doing so, or you are restricted?
Okay, thank you very much. I think the questions are being taken, so I'll go here, and there. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. My name is Kevin Otieno. I'm the production manager for Voice. I have a question for Samaki. A lot of them. So, Sylvester, you might listen up. Number one, if I heard you clearly, you're trying to digitize the fisheries sector, which means you're trying to change the informal settlement where things were being written in paper, the digital medium, as well as you're trying to create digitalization where workflows is seamless, where you can just tap, then things happen. So my question is, you're trying to eradicate the minimum. So what is your business model in that? How do you make money from that? Number two, you talked about landing site, logging in there and putting in their details. So the question might arise is like, how do you ensure that there is data protection for the beach, so that maybe a beach from Selmet or a beach in Nalo cannot know what is happening in the other beach, because there's issue of data protection. Number three, you talked about market linkages. So we would wonder if we could partner with your scrubbers to ensure that these fish are channeled to the market efficiently. Number four, we also talked about beach logging in. So in another way, you're trying to make sure that you're decentralizing this access to these applications. So how will you ensure that how will someone know that this is a fish farmer, or this is a fish farmer, or this is a beach logged in? And if maybe it's a beach and a fish farmer, can they man their own dashboards independently, or maybe one person can see how the other person is managing their dashboard? Number four, you talked about fish farmer. You're selling, you're buying, or you're a fishmonger, you're buying or you're selling. So I'm wondering, as a company like ours, how we go about it. So maybe you can think of putting in a platform before, selling, buying, and being a fishmonger. So you can say individual, then we have individual, you're selling, buying, or a fishmonger, then an organization. That is related. Otherwise, your fish farm. So in that way, you promote traceability. Some people prefer buying fish from a certain company. So if you say you're selling fish from Rio, they can trace that and they can buy more from you. The last one, you only talked about ice, and you only talked about fish, and you are tackling the blue economy. So how are we going to do the issue of ice? Because we are dealing with ice. Can you find a way of maybe not dealing with only fish, but others as well? The last one, was he talked about it. We might need some services on online visibility. Can you help us in creating media website to ensure we reach out to many people? That's my last question.
Okay, thank you very much. So I see we are getting questions, calls for partnership, and also some job that might come soon. So, where was it? Here.
So my question was based on the online catalog. I was so curious. So which is the major problem facing the blue economy? And another question: what is your patent? Which support do you need so that the app remains successful to the community?
Okay. Support that we need for the app to be able to perform its function to the society.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have a few questions, maybe on the policy. As you read up the app, it should align the existing laws and policies. And from this scheme, we have different government institutions that govern the fisheries sector. We have the state departments, the fisheries service, and the county government. And I've heard that some of the approvals, you will need the engagement, and from your app, I can see you are engaging directly with the DAO. This is an elective, it's a political, it is an institution that elects every 4 years. So how do you align with the policy? Because there are some things that will not allow you to do as government. Because for one, data collection by law, there is a mandate. Which kind of data are you collecting? Because if it is production data, the data that will be used is the one that has been validated by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. So which kind of data will you collect? You need to know so that you are not in collision with the government. Then number two, if you go international, each country has its own policies. Maybe you should look at what you can do and what you cannot do. The NCS, the Monitoring, Control and Surveillance, this is a mandate for the fisheries. So how are you going to align so that you're not in collision with government? You will arrest, the MCA, you know, if you look at the interest of the fishermen, it is not as rosy as what you see. You'll find in the whole lake, 90% of these fishermen are illegal fishermen. Is that right? And they will cheat you with the data because they know KRA will access that data and they don't want to pay tax. So those are the realities that we should look into when we are getting to this fishermen. It took us a very long time to have the great farmers on board. We used not to get data until the fish died. You know, you heard of the fish kills. We didn't know the cage owners. That is when we knew who the cage owners were. And they were who is who in this country. So there are some of the dynamics that you must work with the relevant department. And one of the gaps that was there during the development, you know, it is good to involve the user department as you develop the app so that you take into consideration the dynamics in the sector. So I think it is a pilot. You can sit and look at the sector because I saw some of the things that are not within your mandates. They cannot be done. As Samaki law, you cannot come and say this is the production of Kisumu County. You remember that issue of Russia? Somebody went and did research and published it, and it brought a lot of uproar. So this sector has multi-layers. So maybe when you sit down, we can help you align what you can do as a private sector in partnership with us, so that we are collaborating as partners. Then, because of that, you said you are going to use the BMU license. For us, we are developing a system that we are going to have BMUs having personal identification. Like in government, you have the personal number. So that if a BMU member moves from Senate to Nyakach, we'll track them. Because we realize that there are some people who hide in the details. They don't have IDs, they cannot identify. But that one we have tried to minimize by doing thorough vetting. So if you say you are going to use whatever that document, you have to ask the office so for us to align so that it is the registration number we are using. Because for licensing, as we speak, there is a controversy. There is a county government and national government. As we speak now, there are counties that is the county government licensing and national government is licensing also. It is a problem of the law, not the national government of the county. But they are still sorting it at the parliamentary level. So when you go direct to the BMU, you might, what I'm trying to, I think you've gotten my point. You align with the department that is responsible. I do election for the BMU. The BMU is directly under my office. And, it is not possible for you to go. Suppose there is fraud in the beach. Where do you go? You come to the government department that is going to solve them. So that is the gap that I've seen. And I think from this meeting we can sit down and align both the county and national government. Because in the CAD process, there is the fact that the national government does and the fact that the county government does. Then several acts have been, there are some many people from where I sit. Apps have been developed. There are young people who have come with very brilliant ideas to the apps. There was the aquaculture bank came with one, aquarate came with another one. I don't know why they don't do it. I'm not a pessimist, but this one can be a very good one. But I think if you can sit down and learn, because I've seen some very good areas that you can collaborate in the app. So I'm requesting that after this meeting, we can have a sitting with our staff so that we can see how we can align. Otherwise, I welcome this for the and we will support you.
Yes, thank you very much. You see that we are getting good feedbacks and information that is really going well past succeed.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I can see from your pillars, one of them is social equity and integration. So my question is, going forward, how do you intend to include, engage, and empower persons with disabilities?
Thank you very much. So how many? So 2 more questions, then we start the answering session.
So the app, can the app just provide market instead of market and maybe data? Is it possible, or you want to diversify?
Okay, thank you. I'm Douglas, representing Practical Action Organization that you want to host with. So, my question is, I'm looking at you guys as an organization. I don't want to go to the section of the app, but you as an organization, your key target is women, youth, and PWDs. I don't want to ask the question why you've left men out, but I'm asking the question, why are you choosing at the vulnerable? Because I'm looking towards, what is your intention with the vulnerable of the community? as an organization? What is your real intention of them? Because we have other organizations that are targeting the same people. But for a very long time, we are not seeing change. And these same people are continuing to be the vulnerable. So when you're getting into this space, what are you bringing different? What is the most different thing you're bringing to change these people from being the vulnerable to be like men we normally label? That is my one question. Another thing is, by the time you are coming with project, by the time you are if I'm looking at all the things you want to do as an organization, where do you make the money? The aspect of organization coming and telling us we are a charity organization, that is not work. Because that is the aspect where if you get the funding, you start misusing that funding on your things and leaving the money. So I want to see in each and every intervention you want to implement within the community, where are you making the money for the sustainability of that organization? Because if you don't have that plan, then you need to go back, sit and think afresh. All the time we will not get the funding. But without the funding, we need a situation where we, the youths and the organization, we are partnering, you grow and we grow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So, hope I've not left anyone out. And if so, then we are now going to answer the questions shortly. Then we get our keynote speakers. Yes. So,
Thank you very much. This is very fantastic. I actually was not expecting such a number of questions, which is the interest. And also, due to interest of time as well, I wish to answer a good number within 5 minutes because of time. And just to begin with, how to check fraud and other issues. What we presented to you here is a proposal. We are yet, so we are telling you this is what we have versus what now. At least now we know the gaps where the gaps are. Now when we come sit down, we have something on the table. How can we make it better? So about the fraud, we are yet to follow the ethical considerations. We are not saying that our app is now standing and working. We are saying this is what we are proposing. And now going forward, we will be having rigorous in stakeholder engagements and also government officials, so that we also need to be guided. We also need to follow the right protocol so that this app is not going to fail like others have been failing. We promise you that will happen. Another thing, I think that one answers so many questions. If I'm not wrong, that one really answers so many questions. The only one that is remaining is about AI. This technician will answer here, and other inclusion. We have experts for your information. So if you need services, we are also consultants. We have consultancy firms. We are consultants. We've been in that field, and we have technicians here. If you want your website and everything, that one we cannot even talk about. Non-negotiable. We'll give you one plus. That one we'll see after beyond the tents. Those answer is, but we provide adequate. Another thing, there was a very interesting question, why men and not women? And saying vulnerable groups, how can we define that? There are so many people within vulnerable groups. In fact, we've not specified it is PWP only. It was vulnerable group. For my context, maybe I was doing a study and I feel like smallholder farmer is vulnerable. At some point, I might be interested to define him under that category. So men are not left behind. And when we say a woman, we cannot say a woman without a man. Men are always there. So I don't know where we are feeling threatened. This is the second time I'm seeing people, men feeling threatened. We are not threatened whatsoever. When we empower a man, a woman, we are empowering a community. Because the likelihood of that woman cultivating back the proceeds of that empowerment to the betterment of the family is more than 75%. Statistically significant, proven. You can do that. You can research that. So why women is that we can have an immediate impact into our community. Men are not left behind. Youths, we are part of the process. Youth we've not defined. men or women. We are part of this process, and we are not going to leave men also outside the matrix, because for one purpose, we have also to define some space or some areas of operation. We cannot say we are coming to everybody. For example, we must get to a certain point, a point of focus. And then, in the course of doing that, we are going to preach to each and every person. So don't feel threatened, my fellow men. I'm one of you. So if we are coming in here to provide solution to women, we shouldn't be threatened because I'm a man. Thank you very much. And another one, because I wish to reiterate that this is a proposal, honorably. We really wish to be part, to be guided. We are kids. We really want to grow. We want to crawl. We want to go all the steps until the time we'll be able to run. We will be part of you. We are children in Migori or Mabei, whichever part, county, will be able to listen and to integrate all those areas that have been left behind. Thank you very much for that. Maybe I give Sylvester to utilize that 2 minutes, and then we fasten the process because of other requests.
All right, thank you so much. I want to start with the question that was touching on the how do we integrate Samaki log in the blue economy. So the Samaki log will actually help in the blue economic conservation by making fishing smarter, of course, safer and sustainable. It will help to reduce overfishing, as we had said here earlier, and also it will help the fishers record catches and monitor the fish species, which are some ways it will help in blue economic conservation. Of course, there are many ways. Those are just some. Then when we come onto the question of the ROI, the return on investment of the app. Of course, we have not integrated everything, but the first, I don't know if it is okay to disclose it, but let me just tell you what. Okay, the first one will be the transactions made from the marketplace, and another one will be from the subscriptions from the advanced features. You remember when I said that we are also planning to add some advanced features in it, whereby you will be required to subscribe to them for you to be able to utilize them, and many others. Those are just some. And for the question of AI automation, of course, the one we have built so far hasn't been done with any AI automation. We have not included or integrated any AI automation onto it, but it is one of our plans to also have an AI automation to help us automate some of the services within the app. Yeah, of course, there are several services that we are going to automate, such as the one for the fish species identification, to save time. Yeah. Then I want to touch on the question which was on the eyes, if I'm not wrong. So, of course, for the eyes can chip in this way. I hope I could have shown you that in the moment you click one of the orders that you want to purchase this one, if you check onto the details, you'll find a place indicated the time it was listed and the date. So this one can even help in things to do with the quality of the fish. You are able to identify at a faster rate that this fish was listed on this particular day, so it might be already stale. So I don't need to purchase this one. But suppose it is a fish that has been ordered and it is being needed maybe somewhere that is very far. That's where now we can bring in the eyes to help us in the preservation of this fish during the transportation. Yes. So I think I've also answered the question of the quality also. Yeah. How we can ensure the quality. If you look for the order, you will see the time, the state of the fish also, if it is fresh, if it is processed and herbs. Yeah. So, any other question? Of course, many have been tackled. So, in terms of monitoring and control surveillance, here we are likely to engage with the first is the fish management unit. Second, we start with the local authorities that are within the beach areas. Remember, we also have got like those small circles in those beaches can help us in monitoring too. So I would like to stop from there. Allow me to stop from there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can see most of you are happy. It's like most of your questions have been answered, right? Yeah, thank you. So because of time, we're going to call our speakers, and we're going to start with CC, Department Youth Affairs, Department of Youth Affairs, kindly. Yeah, let's welcome Madam with the act of clap. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, the organizers of this great launch, participants, good afternoon. Because of time, I just want to give directly to allow my officer here. I don't know, Mr. Rude, you will introduce yourself. You can come introduce yourself and I'll give to Director Fisheries.
Good afternoon. My name is George Orudi. I work at the Government of Kisumu Department of Sports, Culture, Gender and Youth Affairs. I'm also in charge of gender programs. I've listened to your sentiments, and you have also gotten response from our seated partners. Treat that as feedback, and also take time further consult with the department, because I know I'm in the youth docket value, but I have not met you. That's another gap. Serious. I don't know whether you have met Commissioner, I mean, you only invited him. Then our director also mentioned something about consultative process, because actually you are doing this on behalf of government, you are complementing your government, and you can do a lot in the youth sector, because it will tell you we can still partner, ensure that we also drive you to another level. I know we are doing some programs. Last time we had a meeting with commissioners about the UN Down program. They are working on the peace value chain, but they are targeting the vulnerable. I don't know whether people are vulnerable. So if you are vulnerable, but your program can be vulnerable because it is escalation. If you need more design, so your program can be vulnerable, but really not be vulnerable. So continue work with the program to make sure that we align it to the system and work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. George. Can we clap for him? Let me now invite Director Fisheries also to say a word, and then I'll take the speaker.
My name is Susan Claire Adiago, Director of Fisheries and Blue Economy. Allow me to first, just in a summary, highlight the structure of the Directorate of Fisheries, of which this Samaki law is anchored. In the Directorate of Fisheries, we have sections. One is inland fisheries, which deals with the lake and the fishermen, and the BMU, and the artisanal fishermen that you're talking about. We have a section in charge of aquaculture that deals with the cage farmers and the pond farmers, which you are likely to work with. We have the quality assurance sections. You had a question whereby they were asking how you will ensure your fish is of quality. We have inspectors who will ensure that fish is of good quality. We have data and statistics section. You will be dealing with a lot of data. So when you align to the county government, you will be attached to the data and statistics section. In the directorate, we also have the Visinaqua pilot site, which deals with the technology transfer and deals a lot with the incubation of youth. In the Visinaqua sector, we have incubated 4 youth groups which have transformed into companies. One is called Aquaban. How many have interacted with Aquaban? Aquaculture Bank. That is an incubatee of Visinaqua, Directorate of Fisheries. We have the carbides. These are our products, the ice people. We have another one called Nyanam Fish Dairy. We've incubated that. And you heard of Sunny Wines, which was being talked about here. So one of the gaps that I've also noted, that we are not also working hand in hand with the youth department, which from here we'll talk with the director to see how we are going to integrate this youth to the other programs. Allow me to talk about the inland fisheries and some of the challenges that your app can address. We have a challenge of illegal fishing. There is a fishing method called abungu. If you have people dying in the lake, they are dying because they are fighting about the illegal fishing. So yesterday I had a meeting in my office and it was very heated. When a commissioner, you heard that the KWS are at war with the fishermen in Asante Beach. These are illegal fishermen fighting back. They have finished all the fish in the open waters. Now they want to invade the protected area. And the officer there has refused. So it is what that we are going to sort out next week. So these are the problems that are there in the lake. Number 2 is pollution. Yesterday in that meeting for a commissioner, we were told that in Dunga area, when women are washing the fish, they are scratching, they are feeling some issues. So they are suspecting that there is some kind of pollution that we need to talk about that is affecting the fishermen. So I think that one will be handled and in the structures. The BMU is under we do elections of the BMU after every 4 years. 5 years ago, we had a war between the BMUs and the administration and it was all chaos. As a department, we have structured this and from Commissioner's office, the conflicts have reduced. Number 1, we have made all the BMUs in Kisumu County develop bylaws that govern them. So when you enter into the BMU, you will be integrated into those bylaws, guided by our department. So there are so many interventions that we are taking as a directorate, and we are hoping that they are going to bear fruit. In the data collection, we have a data collection committee within the beach. So this one will really assist you in the collection of data in collaboration with our office. So our office is very open. We have a strength in youth co-creation when we are co-creating bankable business concepts that can lead into companies. We will work with your team and we are hoping that we are going to give, we are also going to give our experiences on how these other youths have navigated until they are now making money. So as a directorate, as I finish, we are seeing a problem. So many people, the blue economy sector is growing. And we are finding so many youths who are very educated without employment. And I believe this is a bombshell, it is not taken care of. So we have had a program, we have been having a program, and one qualification is that you must be unemployed youth. Then we co-create activities that will lead into businesses that create employment. We have tested this and we are now incubating the 4th company. The 4th is the Cabals at Janam, and you can see they have been incubated. They are now going into business with a business plan and they have passed through a 6-month incubation period. So with those few remarks, thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Director. We can give a better clap. If you are so keen to her speech, then I think you people had a lot to do with her in terms of guidance and how to ensure that you also may turn your idea into a company that can help you make money. So when they say there is money in agriculture, what she has said actually puts that to be the correct way. And I'm so happy. There is something that I was so keen on when I came in. You know, previously it was believed that agriculture, things like fisheries, is meant for the older people. But if you see young people coming up with such ideas, just to ensure that we change the society we are in and also to create employment for our fellow young people, it indeed shows that there is a change of mindset, and there is also some attitude change. I was in some meetings 4 weeks ago somewhere, and I met a young boy, and he came to me, was telling me, was saying, you know, I'm looking for a job. I was like, what kind of job are you doing? And mimi nataka kazi ya kufagia na kupika chai. He was a graduate, so I was so much interested to know, like, ulifanya course gani? Kaniambia alifanya, there's a course called agricultural engineering. So now I was asking him, like, you have a degree in agricultural engineering, na unatafuta kazi ya kufagia ama ya kupika chai. See, it looks all awkward. Sindio? Because I'm just trying to imagine, when you're in that class, there was no unit of cooking tea. Sindio? Na kukwa na unit pia ya kufagia. So I was trying to ask him, is from our village, of course I come from a village down there. So according to me, I was trying to imagine, now that you've done agricultural engineering, unaweza kuwa a very great farmer. Because all the units that you are going through would have been related to farming. So it depends on what kind of farming you can do. But from where he comes from in our village, anatoka karibu na lake. So I was trying to imagine he could be a very good farmer who can make money from farming other than looking for kazi ya kufagia ama ya kupika chai. So I really spoke to him, and you know the funny thing is, the mother was there. The mother was saying that they have a farm near the lake that she normally does farming sukuma wiki, and that is what she used to pay school fees for these her children. So up to the time we were speaking, because the mother again has another second year University of Nairobi, and then she also has a Form 3 girl. She's still doing the same farming to educate the siblings. But now the firstborn, who is out of school, doesn't appreciate that as something that can bring some income. Him is looking at it like he should be in an office somewhere, waking up in the morning, putting on a tie, and then leaving the office at 5. What kind of advice would you give such kind of a person? Because the mother is still a farmer. To the time we were speaking, the mother is still supplying sukuma wiki in almost 6 schools. And that is the money she's using to educate. So me, I think that is an opportunity that somebody doesn't want to take. It is just laziness, or it is attitude. And what you've done is related to what supported your mother to educate you. So I think at times also when we have young people in such areas, that they are able to learn from their colleagues, that as a young person, I can go through this, but life can now make me change my mind and decide to start life in another direction. So we are here as young people, and I'm so happy that all the participants are young people. And I think we are here to have a conversation that can take us far as we do the launch. It is not just about the launch. And I pray that what has been mentioned here, or other programs coming up, and then now not picking up, let this one not be one of them, because this is actually initiated by the young people who still has the energy to make sure it becomes a success. It all depends with the attitude and how we want things run and how patient we are. Some of us are always not so patient. But you see, in life, everything you do, patience is very, very key. You can wait for 10 years, but at one point things will open up. Some are lucky to wait for 1 year or 2 years, but finally things will open up. So I have a small speech that I want to read, and then I'll be able to invite the county commissioner who is also running for another meeting in the next 2 minutes. I think I'll just be done. It is a great privilege to stand before you today as we gather to discuss one of the most important issues of our time, climate action and sustainable development, and the critical role that young people play in Kisumu County must play in shaping a greener, more inclusive and economically empowered future, focusing on innovative solutions for wealth creation and meaningful youth engagement. Kisumu County is blessed with enormous potential, from the waters of Lake Victoria to our fertile agricultural lands, vibrant fisheries sector, growing urban economy, and dynamic youthful population. We possess valuable resources that can drive sustainable development and transform livelihood. However, we are also facing serious climate-related challenges. We have flooding, unpredictable rainfall patterns, environmental degradations, declining fish stocks, water pollution, unemployment, and food insecurity continue to affect many communities across Kisumu. These challenges threaten livelihoods, especially for women, youth, small-scale farmers, fisherfolk, and vulnerable population. But today I stand here with hope and confidence because I believe the youth of Kisumu are not only part of the challenges, but we are the solution to the challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, young people are increasingly leading innovative climate solutions that are creating jobs, protecting the environment, and strengthening community resilience. Across Kisumu, I congratulate our youth who are engaging in climate-smart agriculture, waste recycle, renewable energy, digital innovation, tree planting, clean transport system, and environmental conservation initiatives. These efforts are not just environmental activities, they are pathways towards wealth creation and economic empowerment. Notably, through modern agriculture and fisheries innovation, youth can improve fish production, enhance food security, and create sustainable income. Through waste recycle and circular economy initiative, plastic and organic waste can be converted into valuable products such as organic fertilizers, liquids, construction materials, and renewable energy solutions. In agriculture, climate-smart farming technologies, irrigation system, greenhouse farming, poultry production, and digital market platforms are opening new economic opportunities for the young entrepreneurs. Kisumu also has immense potential in the blue economy by investing in fisheries, technologies, water transport, ecotourism, and sustainable lake resource management. We can create dignified jobs and decent earning while preserving our natural ecosystem for future generations. Distinguished guests, meaningful youth engagement must go beyond tokenism. Young people must be actively involved in policy development, climate governance, budgeting process, innovation spaces, and community development planning. And I will encourage all of us to be participating in the public participations that are carried out by different sectors within the communities, be it government or non-governmental organizations. I call upon county government, national government agencies, private sectors, development partners, and financial institutions to increase investment in youth-led climate enterprise and green innovation hubs. Youth require access to affordable financing, skills development, mentorship, technology, markets, and incubation opportunities. County government has responded to the call for regulations, policies, strategies, laws in climate change adaptation, mitigation, and disaster risk reductions. And I think the director spoke about the policies that the government has that you must work in line with so that nobody is against what you do. So So as Kisumu, we have the Kisumu County Climate Change Policy, we have the Act, then we have Kisumu County Integrated Climate Change Action Plan, which is 2023-2027. We also have the Kisumu County Disaster and Emergency Management Act, Kisumu County Climate Change Fund Regulation, Kisumu County Environment Policy, and then Kisumu County Crop Agriculture Act. I think it was reviewed, Director. The Act, the Crop Agriculture Act. Okay. And then we also have Kisumu County Fisheries and Agriculture Act. We have the Gender and Equity Mainstreaming Bill. We also have the Gender Mainstreaming Policy, SGBV policy, which is currently under review. But it is my wish that we collaborate with your hub and other sector partners on the following outcomes: capacity building of community and county staff for climate action, responsive planning, programming, budgeting, and implementation. Capacity building youth on climate smart agriculture technologies and water harvesting. And I think this one, you can also partner with GIZ, that is really doing a lot in matters of youth in agribusiness. Make use of this hub to co-create with stakeholders, capacity build world climate change committees on resource mobilization for community projects, development of data bank of climate action ambassadors, conduct peer-to-peer learning and documentation of best practices. Currently, county, through partnership with youth sector partners, has initiated the process of formulation of the Kisumu County Youth Development Policy and Regulation, and I call upon all of us to voice in the process. Special attention must also be given to inclusive participation of young women, persons with disability, and marginalized youth to ensure no one is left behind in the sustainable development. Let us become champions of environmental stewardship, innovation, and resilience. Let us embrace technology, entrepreneurship, and community-led solutions that promote sustainable and economic growth. Climate action
form of public participation that we get to know what they are doing, what their plans in the future are. So I think it's in our county, we have the International Communications and Rescue Center at Grammy Beach. It's costing the government millions of shillings. Zero running sites. We have 2 other running sites, Orgal and Asap, where we already have contractors on site. All these are costing a lot of people. The Center of Excellence, the project has installed Doro. It's also costing the national government one. The purpose is just to produce those fingerlings. And I think there will also be a center of excellence or a training center for fishermen. This is in June this year. It will be a major hub for training, and upon completion, it's expected to produce between 28 to 30 million fingerlings annually for aquaculture, ordered by the Lake Basin Development Authority. The facility has been revitalized, produce millions of fingerlings, and is there's also a hatchery somewhere. Southern farmers, fishermen from the Crash, Moroni, Yalo, West challenge. That's why sometimes we want to do maybe a market survey. We do a lot of valuation. And the fish that is produced, and that will be good for us. The other idea that whatever was done in International Communications and Rescue Center. I know our county government of Kisumu did issue some speed boats, just assist our fishermen. And it's just to appeal to our fishermen to maybe not scramble over resources. So I know one time we lost some fishermen in the salmon. About 5 of them, and we lost lives. When you investigate further, you realize they were scrambling or fighting over some resource, and we ended up accepted as major contributors to causing contamination. Other key challenges, sometimes staff sometimes also very expensive, and again sometimes the quality will be compromised. We still have a problem with the fingerlings. Farmers are increasingly adopting solar power irrigation systems, sustainable technical methods like aquaponics, increase farmers, they train the fish management units so they can effectively perform their activities. As like I mentioned, on the other lower side, you know, the national government has already done a census for all the vessels that are applying, the actual owners are known, that some of them are not used for the wrong purposes. And sometimes to carry contract goods or even very other harmful substances like illicit blues and other substances, or even carrying unauthorized persons, unauthorized migrants. I think it's good we do this business in a sustainable way. I don't want to tell you because I know we've been here since morning. The Brazilians are exactly 1, so maybe 5 minutes past the hour. So I think that those few remarks. Is there anything else I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to declare the launch?
Yeah.
Now, on behalf of my boss, I now want to declare the Resilience Hub for Inclusive Climate Action officially launched. Thank you.
Our chairman to give the words of thanks before our guest leaves. Welcome.
Thank you. Waziri Makasili. So, nonetheless, we've come this far. I'm standing in to say to the county commissioner, the CC, the director, guests, distinguished, Daktari, friends, and as well the ARHICA team, and all congregants. Thank you very much for gracing this official launch of we'll walk the journey with you, and we'll try to make a contribution in this our western region, Kenya at large, and also as we spur other dreams. Closing prayer, then we will proceed for a lunch. Sorry that we've taken much time, and just forgive us for that, but we'll before the prayer, we can have a photo session, right? So, Geoffrey here is coming to pray. He prayed when we were...
Okay, thank you, Chair. And before I pray, I want to appreciate Commissioner. We have our Waziri, Director, and all dignitaries who have been there. We are very grateful for having taken this noble opportunity to be with us here. We are still looking forward to be with you and to partner with you for being with us since the beginning of the meeting till the very end, Father. Father, we've had a robust discussion. May you ensure that everything that we discussed here, Father, we are going to move with things that have been done by human hands, Father. May you be the one to sail us through, Father. If you are able to, Father, we also pray for you to bless the food that we are going to partake, Father. May you protect it. May you take it till we quench our thirst, Father. Finally, we also pray for you.
Just 1 minute, Commissioner Waziri.
Our partners can join us. Yes. Yes, the remaining team, group officials, kindly join us. Yeah. Yes, we can do one for all of us. Can we do one?
For all of us, group photo now.
Yes, group photo. Yes. A group photo. Thank you very much. You can resume your seats. So all board members. Yes, all board members ARHICA. All board members ARHICA. Yes. Lady.
ARHICA
kuna wenye wajaandika jina yao kwa list. Kuna list, there's a list, kindly just write. Yeah, there are two lists. Kindly, kuna hii ya hoteli. Hiyo ndio ya sahi, hiyo ndio agent. Tuanze na hiyo, then tuende kwa ARHICA. And then kama tunaenda right now we can interact because they are among us. Here one and working kama hizo. Umejua msichana, umejua the lady behind him. Hata ujui tunasema. But she's very powerful. Okay, so we are having our lunch in a view. Okay, we register our names. Or also for the group members, the other groups, kama kuna zile za we appreciate sana all the groups wanakuja. Ile introduction sikusikia vizuri, but mimi lazima nipate hiyo ujumbe vizuri. Nimewashukuru sana. Short notice nimekuja. Hii ni watu wazuri sana.
Hello, so it's me again, Casey, and just to emphasize what my team has said is to say a big thank you. Organizing such an event is not easy. It's not an easy task, and if there is any wrong, they say ukienda kwa mgeni waone mabaya na iache hapo utoki nayo nje. So we request that anything that did not go according to your expectation or went wrong, kindly assume it, and maybe you can tell us in a low voice that hapa ikwenda poa, but you can do it better if you do it this way. So that would be one of our requests. And as you go back, that is after lunch, you cannot go before lunch, because we have to celebrate everything that you do. There must be a celebration. So after lunch, we also prayed for you for the journey masses. Some people came from as far as Nairobi, Mombasa, long ways, and came only to Kisumu for that purpose. So it's we appreciate that. We don't take it for granted. Yes. So if you missed our vision and mission, it's there. And if you want to take any photograph as a team, as a group, with a member of ARHICA or with the team, the floor is open. You can take as many pictures as you want. Yes, so don't limit yourself. And there was a question that actually might not have been highlighted, but it was very important. On how are we going to get the resources to run our organization? Yes, so you saw in our program we had something on that, so that is for startup, but after some consultation, it was not wise to do it in the event. But we still request that if you know how we can get funds, we know how we get our funds. One is we are very good proposal writers and grant writers. We've at our personal levels and also working with other teams, we've written for funds and we know where to get some of these funds. Not all of the funds that we might need to run now a bigger upscaled organization, but we know where to start. Yeah. This team has a number of guys with various connections, and the connections have connection, and those connections also have connection. So these connections runs all the way from my village, from my house, all the way to the western, east, southern one. So we are good at that. Then we also will be reaching out to our partners and people also we've invited, like you guys, in case you have an event and we request for support, whether it's financial, whether it's advice on doing the same, kindly assist us grow this organization together. So there are many remarks that can be said, but I think the list is okay. Then we just move and have our line at the side, and I'll leave that to the chair to confirm if everything is okay.
Well, on the everything being okay, I suppose they are very okay. Sasa, well, I know I've not responded to all the questions, but kindly, this was, by the way, this is the first time we are doing this. Personally, this is the first time I'm doing this in my entire life. So you can imagine how how new it is to me being here in front of all these gentlemen and ladies. Si rahisi. Nasikia tu mama nini, but I really appreciate. Nawashukuru sana kwa kukuja. I'm very happy for the questions that we did attend to during our lunch break. We'll be interacting. We still have interaction sessions. But going forward, please involve us in your programs. Reach out to us as well. We'll partner. We'll do whatever it takes. Small is big. That is our slogan. By the way, that's a slogan. Small is big. However small, whatever small can take us spaces. So please feel free. If there's something small, ita mimi, ita yeye, tukaa pamoja, alafu tukue na nini, inclusivity. Sisi wote to grow, because tukifanya area ingine na nyinyi mnashika ingine, hiyo impact inakuwa kubwa na tuna great impact. So we are going to proceed for our lunch. As we proceed for the lunch, tutakuwa na cards pale. Sindio? Mr. Geoffrey, is that true or not true?
Come again.
Tutakuwa tunachukua macards zetu pale. Then we proceed to their hall.
Yeah, already we've dispatched some.
Okay. Fine. So when you are walking out, ensure that uko na hiyo card. Ni kadi nyingine mdogo hapo unashika tu. I don't know, it's a milk card, no, it's our own organization. It's a nini card. Pia na plus iko na pay hapo. Kama for those people who kuna pay hapo. Sasa ukikula pia ukiona pay useme acha nirushe hii kadi kwa pia pale, sisi tutashukuru. Kwani iko nini? Thank you very much. Tumewashukuru sana for your patience na time mnapokaa for that long. Aki, you deserve something. Ngojeni kidogo. So no, niko having said that, tumemaliza successful. Ni new brother, hii kitu ni mpya kwangu sana. Very new. Kwanza nilifika kwa hii ground nikasema how itafika lunch time kweli. Na yenyewe tuko lunch time, but very much happy. Crispy, simama. Thank you. Sema kitu bwana kwa wao bwana. Hey, ushika hii kitu ni ngumu.
Sasa sio this ukuje tu sema kitu. Kuja. But anyway, thank you so much for your patience. We appreciate so much. Thank you, Bwana Chair, and to all our partners. And strictly to our ARHICA community, we are going to follow what the county commissioner has just told us. By the way, this is just like a policy build-up. And through policy build-up, we have to do a lot of consultations from many sectors. And I know that it will start from the national government, meeting people from trade, environment, education, livestock, crop, and all sectors. We can't just do this alone, because we may fail to take ARHICA in the direction we wanted to. So, I don't have much to say, but I will serve ARHICA wholeheartedly. And to all our partners, in case of any activities, I think you have our contacts, you have our emails, you have everything that entails that may make you riches. Si namna hiyo? Mimi nimemalizana na.
Thank you very much, Crispin. I think we'll now be leaving. Tutaenda kukula sasa. So tunakula tu hapa. Ukitoka tu hivi utaona tu restaurant hapo. Kondo tutakuwa tunakula. I think they will be leading us. Yeah, we will follow Nego to that restaurant. Twende tukule sasa. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Nego. Yes. Asante.
Okay. Let's follow this route. Zaman. Ayo mana? Pakai gram. Jelas. Ada apa di mana sana? Jelas punya berapa? Oh. Sasa mimi kwa wenye watatoka foto